Hi, fourth grade. Today is our last official lesson for Unit 8 and also is our last official lesson of new math for fourth grade. So that's very exciting. Kind of makes me a little nervous. We got still a month left, so we're going to be doing some pretty heavy review after this unit. Okay, so looking at math and flags and how they connect. At the beginning of the unit, some of you asked, what in the world do flags have to do with geometry? Why are we even going to try and connect the two? Well, now that we're, through the geometry unit and we've learned so much, you can see how flags and flag designs might be connected to our geometry unit. So we're going to look at angles, we're going to look at different shapes, we're going to look at side lengths, we're going to look at symmetry throughout this whole lesson. Something that you should notice is that the page after this, so page 318, when we get there, is largely on your own. So on Zoom today, we worked on it for, 8 to 10 minutes, listened to some church jams, and then got into small groups and shared. If you're watching this on Zoom and not, or if you're watching this on YouTube and you were not with us on Zoom, you can just share and do those questions at the bottom of the next page with a parent or a sibling, somebody in your house. Don't worry about sharing with a classmate. Okay, so flags are used in many different ways. Some sports teams use flags to generate team spirit. A flag might be used to start a race, or a homeowner might use a flag for decoration. States and countries also use flags as a representation of their communities. Each flag is different, both in color and design. So here we have some flags of different countries, and one question that came up in Zoom today, I don't know why Switzerland is a square and the others are rectangles. Possibly the edges are white, or Switzerland just has a different shaped flag. I don't know. Okay, so these are all different countries that we're looking at here. So number 1 says, what types of quadrilaterals are used in the Kuwait flag? Now, if we look closely, there are 2, and one of the quadrilaterals that is used 2 different ways is kind of a tricky one. So if we look at this white part in the Kuwait flag, this part right here, we can see that that is a rectangle. So we'll go ahead and put rectangle. We know that a rectangle has 2 opposite sides that are parallel. It has 4 right angles. It does not have 4 sides that are the same. So 2 opposite sides that are parallel makes it a parallelogram, and then 4 right angles. Now, if we look at the green and red, those are the same shape, just flipped, right? So the green and red both have 2 right angles, and they have exactly 1 pair of opposite sides that are parallel. So that would make the green and the red quadrilaterals trapezoids. If we look at the black shape, this one, we notice angle lengths. We have acute angles and obtuse angles. In our sides, when we look at the sides, we have exactly 1 pair of opposite sides that are parallel. So again, just like the green and the red, the black quadrilateral is a trapezoid, but it looks very different than the other trapezoids that are shown. But all trapezoids, because they have 1 pair of opposite sides that are parallel. Trapezoids. Okay. Now, when we look at number 2 asks, how many designs have no parallel lines? Name those flags. So we're not looking at using the edges of our flags, because then we would say all of them have opposite sides that are parallel. We're looking at the designs on the inside. So if we go through and we look at Czechia, they do not have any parallel lines because we have a triangle here and then we've got a line here and nothing is parallel with that. And remember, we're not using the edges of our flags. So we'll circle Czechia. And then Switzerland has opposite sides that are parallel. Even if we just look at one part of the cross, there are some parallel lines. South Africa has parallel lines here and here, so we're not going to count that. Denmark has parallel lines here. Kuwait has parallel lines here. So far, we only have one flag that has no parallel lines. Sudan has parallel lines here. Guyana has two triangles, but those triangles are not parallel. So we're going to say Guyana has no parallel lines. Paraguay, parallel lines right there. Japan, there are not even any 180-degree lines in there, so no parallel lines. India has parallel lines here and here. Bangladesh, no parallel lines. Jamaica has parallel lines here and here. Trinidad and Tobago, here and here. The United States, all over the place. And Laos, here and here. So we have 4 flags that do not have parallel lines. So we're going to put the number 4, and then we'll write the names of those flags. We have Czechia, Guyana, Japan, and Bangladesh. All right. Number 3 says, how many designs have perpendicular lines? Name the flag. So we're going to erase all of this. So remember, perpendicular lines are perpendicular because they make a right angle when they come together. So we're looking for right angles now. Let's see, no right angles in Czechia. So that one's out. Switzerland's got some right angles here, here. Okay. No right angles in South Africa that I can see. Denmark's got right angles right there. Kuwait has right angles. Sudan, let's see, no right angles. We've got some acute angles, maybe a reflex angle here. So that one's out. Guyana, again, no right angles. Paraguay, no right angles. Japan, no right angles. India, no right angles. So we can kind of start flying through. Bangladesh. Jamaica's kind of tricky, but these are not right angles. Those are obtuse angles. So that one's out. Trinidad and Tobago, nope. United States has right angles right here. And all, really actually, all up here. And Laos, none. So we have, again, 4. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. And we have Switzerland. We have Denmark. Kuwait. And we have the United States. So go back up and erase these. Okay. Now, number 4 says, which designs have at least 2 lines of symmetry? So the first thing I want you to look at when you're looking for lines of symmetry is what's going to match exactly with colors and with the design on the inside. So looking at our flags here, there are 4, I believe, that we found that have perfect symmetry with the lines and the colors. So if we were to cut, like for example, if we were to cut Jamaica here, there's one line of symmetry matching the colors perfectly. And we can cut Jamaica here. That also matches the top and bottom with the design in the colors. So Jamaica is one. If we look at a flag like India, India does have two lines of symmetry here and here. But if we were to fold it along just that horizontal line, the colors wouldn't match. The design still would, but the colors wouldn't. So if we look specifically to flags that have symmetrical designs and colors, we would find that Switzerland has more than one line of symmetry. We would find that Japan has more than one line of symmetry. India for now. And we would find that Laos has more than one line of symmetry. So we will put those down here. Switzerland. Japan. Jamaica. Laos. And then my book, and we talked about this a little bit on Zoom, my book says India, which we talked about. It does, the design matches, right? Not the colors, but the design. And Paraguay. Now, if you look really closely at Paraguay, you'll see that if we were to cut this here, it would not match this side and this side because there are words around, and you can't really see it on with my iPad, but you can see it in your book that there are words that go around. And then if we were to cut it this way, it wouldn't match, what's going on? It wouldn't match the top and the bottom because of the design on the inside of this circle. So we're not going to put Paraguay down because we're looking for exact symmetry, and I really want you to understand what that looks like when we're looking at different designs. So we're going to say Paraguay does not have two lines of symmetry. If there were no words, it definitely would have one. But again, like I said, if you look closely, there are words around in that red part of that circle. So we're going to say not symmetrical. But we will include India in our list. Comma, India. Great. Okay. Now, we kind of talked about this at the beginning. You're going to take the directions and you're going to design your own flag. You need to make sure that you include one triangle, one pair of parallel lines, and one 30-degree angle. Now, if you want to include your triangle and your 30-degree angle in the same thing, great. If you want to draw 17 triangles and only one of them has a 30-degree angle, I'm okay with that too. It's your flag. You design it how you want. And I want you to be creative. I don't want you to design it after. I don't want you to design a flag that's already a flag. I want you to design your own flag for you. And then you're going to take these two questions and answer them. So what types of triangles did you draw? So I want you to choose one triangle if you drew more than one. Choose one and tell me both. You need to tell me the sides description and the angles. So you're going to tell me what it looks like based on the side lengths, isosceles, scaling, or equilateral, and you're going to tell me whether or not it's acute, obtuse, or right based on the angle measures. So you're going to have two names for your triangle for number 5. Number 6, like I said, you can just show a family member your flag and talk about maybe how your flag is different from the Nevada state flag, or different from the United States flag, or different from any other flag. It doesn't matter, and how they compare. What shapes are in your flag that are not in other flags? why is your flag different? Why did you design it that way? Just kind of talk through and explain your flag to somebody in your family. If you have any questions, please make sure that you let me know. This really is unbelievably our last big unit for 4th grade, really. So just make sure that you are using your protractor to do your angles and a straight edge to draw your parallel lines. I will talk to you later.